My topic is today basically, oh my god, deep learning and ArcGIS API for Python. So recently, I think AI or deep learning is really a hot topic, and when we say deep learn, AI mostly we consider like deep learning, but I would like to go a little overview. So basically, AI is in three parts. First one is just like achieving some human level intelligence with artificial intelligence, for example, this video game behavior or this type of things. Then in machine learning, it's mostly like with dealing with the data. Like achieving different type of artificial intelligence with this getting it from data. But deep learning is mostly like we want to mimic the way human brain learns. Like deep learning's main goal is to train the machine with the same way that human brain learns. So now I will go to a bit deeper. The reason we are people are more interested nowadays to use deep learning is basically about its accuracy, then the automation and speed and the scale. So the accuracy means like deep learning. With deep learning, you can achieve almost 95% of accuracy. Like it's all similar like human accuracy, or sometimes it's even better in some cases compared to human level accuracy. In automation, you can reuse it, you can speed up the process. With a GPU or computing power, you can even do some type of automation. For example, if you are counting cars, it's for human, or it's like a huge job in every way. But and it cannot be always accurate, especially when it's like the moving car, or for example the live feed or this type of things. But machine can do it very fastly. And with one big advantage with deep learning is you can do the analysis on any scale. It can be on city, it can be on very small area, it can be like whole entire Tallinn or whole Estonia, or even bigger. Like there are several model exists that is like covering whole Europe, for example, or for whole world. So it is possible to cover a very big area. So all the things, why or where deep learning can be used in ArcGIS. So you can see with the icons that there are not only one product, it's like all over the places that you can have deep learning, either directly or it already infused with the process that you are maybe using deep learning unknowingly. For example, if we divide it more categorized, then there is two ways. One is like already the tools that you can use, and in deep learning tools there are also two sections. One is like just the deep learning without scripting. In that case, you will find these possibilities. For example, ArcGIS Pro, ArcGIS Image Analyst, 3D extension, 3D Analyst, Spatial Analyst, as well as this Deep Learning Studio, which is a bit newer version of this deep learning possibilities. For example, with ArcGIS 3D Analyst, you can use this extract the features from LiDAR images. And with Deep Learning Studio, it's basically the workflow is totally without scripting, and you can do the workflow inside the app, full procedure. Then comes this code first experience, and So in the code first experience, you have this ArcGIS notebooks. You can do the workflow in the ArcGIS notebooks and also ArcGIS API for Python. And in this AI-infused capabilities, or what, like the things that we already have embedded in ArcGIS for deep learning capabilities. For example, this 3D based maps for example, the tree extraction, for example, and then this offline interface of survey 123. This is also using some type of deep learning in the background. So with ArcGIS, you can do the whole workflow or end-to-end geospatial life cycle. You can do from very first step to end in this ArcGIS ecosystem. You don't have to move. So if I go a little bit more, in ArcGIS, when you need the images, for example, you can manage the images, store the images and everything in our ArcGIS system. Then you can label and prepare the data. You can train the model. You can also do that also inside these tools I have mentioned previous slide. And then after getting these results, you can also do further analysis directly. And when you have all the results, analysis, and everything, you can also present it using ArcGIS dashboards, insights, or some notebooks as well. So you don't have to go out of or you don't need to move these big data or anything outside of ArcGIS. So the applications, if I shortly say, the applications are pixel classification, for example, object detection, object tracking, object classifications. If I go with more examples, for example, you can analyze the damaged structures, which can be useful for some type of disaster management or some types of planning. Then, for example, some utility management people, it can be useful, for example, this pipeline encroachment or oil pad detection. Then this full motion tracking, tracking would be another useful examples. Then you can detect the tree health or the vegetation's health using deep learning models, and then you can take the further steps. As well as there are some building footprints, land covers, roads, and other swimming pool detection may be useful for some planning cases. In case of 3D also, there are some examples like utility poles and lines. You can do also with deep learning. Then you can, it can be done also with street light detection or rail assets assessments and so on. And for deep learning, there is one step that you may need to prepare or label the data, but in Living Atlas, we have so many models already available, and you can basically reuse it, or even if you are just want to try out it, you don't want to spend so much time on labeling. So in that case, you can download that data and start from that step and just to see the workflow, that how much you like it. So these Living Atlas's models, this is so popular that it was downloaded more than 50,000 times. And I would really recommend everybody to try once. And then all the workflows that I was mentioning, it was mostly like this codeless experience. But if you want to do some scripting, then ArcGIS API for Python has a very, very useful module, which is called ArcGIS Learn module, and it is making this deep learning workflow very easy. And so question could be that why we should go for this ArcGIS Learn instead of this codeless experience. The reason is basically with scripting you can do the automation very easily, you can reuse the script, and with ArcGIS Learn you have all the ArcGIS ecosystem embedded already, so you don't need to install the whole deep learning libraries and everything. Like it's a little bit messy process if you have to go through the installation, but if you have already ArcGIS and you are using this Learn, you just need to write one line and then it's bringing you everything necessary. And it has a large collection of GeoAI model. And there is also similar way we have some more samples or guided notebooks, so you can use it for your use case and you can modify it. And just a very short comparison that if you see that if you start AI with other environment, it will be a little bit longer scripting. But with ArcGIS Learn, you can start with a very small script and which is pretty self-explanatory, that you are asking for preparing data, you are telling it to do the models and basically saving it for later. And you can see in this slide that it has quite a lot of resource already inside it, and you don't need to write so many lines of code. You will just write these words and you will have the whole results. Now I will switch to the demo and you will have a bit better overview. So I have tried to track, like do some, run some model on some video. And I have tested it twice. One is on some USA 10 minutes video, and another one is also, I reused the same script and tested it on Estonia. So first, you just need to import some necessary script, and as I mentioned, that you have already the guideline in this API place. Then, if you see that I have write like from ArcGIS Learn, import this model and this prepare data thing. And then next, I will just bring the data, because I was using this pre-trained model in this case. And in prepare data, you can see I just wrote like the prepare data and basically the batch size. And I mean, once one line of code can prepare the data for you. You don't need to spend hours for processing and doing everything. And then you can also check that what are the things have this data has. So it is showing you the classes about like what are the classes it has, like the background, bus, car, and everything, like all the vehicles it was seeing. So you can cross-check that if it's going somehow wrong or not. Then you can also check, like you can just ask the data to show the batches. It is already showing you the results. And then you can see the learning rate, that how much good it is learning, and it looks quite good. You maybe have the, I mean, from Googling, you can also understand how you will understand that what learning rate is good. And then next step is just training the model. So you can also put this, like just tell the model to run with these scripts, and you can see the result, that how much training it done. And it processed like something 500 batches just to train this model. And with this script, you don't have to run this yourself with 500 times or somehow not more than one time. It is doing its job, like the script is doing its job. And then you can see that, for example, show the result. So it is giving you this ground truth, the previous, like the sample data. And this right side is the predictions. And you can see that it is predicting quite right. And then I just want to see that separately, like not only the vehicles, which vehicle are how many numbers, and it is giving me the result because it was 10-minute video, it is counting like something 700 cars and so on. And then I saved the model for later. And then I was actually reusing the same script. I don't need to write it. I was just capturing one video from our office training room, and I was just removing few places and reusing the whole script. You can see that in this case, I was labeling myself. The workflow, I was not using the pre-trained model, just I was reusing the script. And the result is, I think you have already seen it yesterday. So the result is quite accurate. You can see that it is able to detect pretty much everything. And it was around 1 minute video, so it was detecting the results and then giving me something around 143 cars because it was like the rush hour at 5, around 5 or after 5 something. Then I just try to make a dashboard to show everybody. So I guess you can now relate what I explained. But still, if you have any questions, you can ask me now or you can email me for later.
Kas on kellelgi küsimus veel Farihale? Ma ise nägin video pealt, et pean valima kellaaega, millal töölt ära minna, et päris tihe on selle ringi peal saamine. Aga on küsimus?
It seems that this doesn't recognize white cars.
Yes,
in a white snowy environment.
Yes, it can sometimes happen like this because it is 95% accuracy. In that case, you can just add this specific thing if the model is not getting something specific. And one more thing is like I have just ran this once. If you run twice, for example, because it's just a script, you just need to, for example, if you were in the notebook session, you can see that you can rerun it on the automation system. So if you even put it for 2-3 times automatic run, you will get better results. Or sometimes you need to do a little bit modification. But so far, it was giving me 95% accuracy. So yeah, it was so snowy that it got confused. But with the other US model, what I tested, it was getting everything fine. But I really wanted to show with the snowy environment because we have more this scenario here.
Thank you.
Aga aitäh, Fariha!